always kind of a bummer, but who knows? They could both. We could see a lot of back and forths, especially in a game like this.
Yeah. Oh, and we are for go. Oh, and Lex actually going with that color palette. That makes me. She. I was so hyped for a moment there, and it's already gone. So the streams are a bit off sync, but I think they'll be synced up in a bit. So it's hard to see who's ahead at this point. And here we have Metal Man stage, which is one of the hardest stages in the game to go fast in, because you take a bunch of damage, especially from these dropping crushers or presses or whatever you want to call them. They do, I think, 6 damage, and Mega Man only has like 24 HP, so it's like a huge chunk. And then you have these RNG-based moles, these drills, and Charlieboy actually making it out with 4 life energy. So it gives him almost enough to do the glitch, and there's more than enough life energy for Charlieboy. Lex also having enough life energy to do the special setup for this boss.
Oh, that's good.
So do you want to explain the Metal Man glitch to the audience?
Yeah. So typically you'll be sliding underneath Metal Man, and unfortunately he's gonna land on top of you, but he's gonna try to jump over you, and since you're to the right of him, he's just gonna bounce off the wall, and that's gonna kind of desync his position. And then once you're back on the left side of him, he'll jump over and get stuck in the door, and then it'll just be a free frame perfect kill.
Yeah, and the thing is, you wanna have, like, Metal Man has to be in the air. Like if you shoot, then he'll jump in the air, and then you slide under him. And if you're on the right side when he lands, like, he will go completely nuts. And Charlieboy getting that nicest kill. And I think we'll see Lex going for that as well. So, and that's pretty much the same strategy I use as well, just walking around and pelting some shots. Now, if Mega Man's shots are in Metal Man at the time of connection, like, you can have the shots enter Metal Man's body before its invincibility runs out, so you can have like frame perfect hits after frame perfect hits. It's not like in Mega Man on the NES where the shots will just go through entirely if Metal Man was still in his invincibility phase. So this game has a lot of quirks because it's programmed by a completely different team, or this game was made by a completely different team than the one that did the first Mega Man Game Boy game and the subsequent Game Boy games after this. And another really cool gimmick about this game that really makes it stand out is the slide. Because unlike any other Mega Man slide, this one has some armor. It can bulk through stuff, and you just saw it happen there on Charlieboy's side. You can just tank through enemy hits, and the knockback animation will trigger inside the slide. And if you do it frame perfectly into an enemy, so you walk into an enemy and at last frame you slide, you will not even see the knockback animation at all if you do it correctly.
Yeah, it's super handy. The same also applies to ladders in a sense. You'll get the animation for the damage, but you won't actually get knocked off ladders.
Yeah, that's so cool. And we saw here Lex going for the lower route, which is 3 seconds slower than the top route. But it's considerably easier. So there's like, I used to use that route like all the time because it's just so comfortable. And that was Woodman, and we'll see Lex only being behind, I think, maybe 3 or 4 screens. So that's not the biggest lead. It's not insurmountable by any means.
Yeah, it's coming up next. It's going to be Airman, and that stage can be pretty scary. It's very easy to fall off.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, it's pretty free, but on my last tries, I just walked off the goblin heads, and oh, did we have a misselect from Charlieboy here? Because he just went to Clashman, and that can't be intended. I like it though, but because ideally you'd have like the weakness weapon against this boss, the air shooter, isn't the best. It's actually the worst. And but Rush Jet saves a bunch of seconds. I think about 20, maybe. Like on these segments, like you don't have to walk on the roof.
I guess you could use Rush Coil.
Yeah, do you have Rush Coil? Does Metal Man give Rush Coil? But you can actually jump on the first corner, like if you do it right. So you don't have to do the, like he can jump here on the first, Charlieboy can jump on the first corner of the top. And I wonder if he knows it. He doesn't know that. See, I used to do Clashman Buster only, or like Clashman first, so I know some really good backup strats if this kind of stuff happens. But that's rough. This is gonna... Oh, and taking a death, but it's at a checkpoint, so it's not the biggest deal. Like, it's literally at the checkpoint. Meanwhile,
basically full health recovery as well.
Wait, what did you just say?
He recovers all his health that from the death as well. So it's kind of nice for the rest of the stage and for the boss.
True. Ooh, and Lex taking a death as well. Taking just a bit too much damage on top of those goblin heads, which is a little more like it's easier to take damage here on the US or the Japanese version, because the horns or the drills or whatever, they come out slightly faster than on the European version. So this stage is actually a little bit harder for Lex. Oh, that was such a tight jump for Lex than it is going to be for Charlieboy.
Yeah, I think ideally it's the same amount of time. Like, wouldn't go necessarily faster on the European version, but it is a bit of a tighter jump on the American version.
Yeah, your timing is a lot stricter, which just makes like it's just a bit more pressure. But like that and a one tile difference, meaning another hit in Top Man stage, those two are the only benefits from playing on the European version, and those are the only benefits in or any there's already that one leaf kill. Those are the only version differences besides the title screen text and logo being different in Japanese, and those are really the only differences in games.
There's a minor thing at the end of the Wily stage, but that doesn't really play a factor either. It's just like one platform with another swarm above, but you don't interact with that at all.
Yeah, thanks for that, because that completely slipped my mind. Like that's one of those minor differences as well, and I think that's very similar to Mega Man 3 on the NES. As there were some, like in the first Wily stage, there are some platforms, and in the Japanese version, there's this whole like there's a real platform, and in the US and the PAL versions, it's just like a corner, and there's these two large weapon energies on them. And I always thought it was very peculiar, very curious. Why even change that? Like, why would they do that? And basically, like on the Game Boy Mega Mans, it works a bit different than the NES counterparts, as you have basically half the Robot Masters from one game and half the Robot Masters from the game that followed it. And something that occurred to me the other day was like, this game storyline has some time travel relation in it, with Quint being a Mega Man from the future. And that's why I think it's kind of weird that Flashman's not in this game, because he can stop time. You know, it would have been cool if he was in this. But yeah, he was already used in Dr. Wily's Revenge, so I think that's a missed chance right there. But yeah, we're gonna see after Clashman, we're gonna see some Mega Man 3 bosses, but not with their standard Mega Man startup introductory stuff, as they're considered to be part of the Wily stages, as this game is only 9 stages long. Alright, and Charlieboy, despite having that trouble earlier, has done a great job of catching up.
I'm curious that Legs opted to pick up that weapon energy. So you get a
Yeah.
full refill in the first 4 stages after each boss.
And I think she's going for that classicest of strats against good old Clashman. Like one of the toughest bosses if you don't do this. Like if you want to go fast, like Clashman is the hardest boss to do properly. And yeah, see, so Airman's weapon didn't. Oh, and I think that was a miss menu. Airman's weapon didn't quite cut it. Like if you hit all the shots and all the shots connect once, you still need to hit Clashman an additional time. So that's yeah, that's not the best. The math for this game isn't the best.
It's surprising how close this match is now. It's really
We got
evened
some
up.
weapon screen sync going on here.
A couple of missed jumps from legs and that one death in Airman stage. Charlieboy's caught right up.
Yeah, I think like if there's some like I haven't had like a missed stage select on myself yet, but if I would have gotten it, I would have just reset it and password. I don't know, is that allowed, or is that only allowed in soft lock? By the way, that's
I don't actually know for sure, but I would think it would be allowed.
You know what? I'm gonna ask John Carls after this match is over, because I would like some clarification. Because if that happens, I don't think it should be allowed, or should it be? You know what? I really don't know.
Does it save E-tanks? It doesn't save E-tanks, does it?
No, actually, there are like specific passwords for specific amounts of energy tanks. So you should know, like you have to know, but most of the times the passwords are always the same because you always use the same amount of energy tanks.
Yeah.
So, like you would still like, say for instance, Charlieboy had reset it, he would still use the password for, like he would still have no energy tank, so it wouldn't even matter at that point. So if the level of energy tanks is like it matches with the level of energy tanks you had, then I think it's pretty. I think it should be allowed, but I'm not completely sure. I have no idea about the race rules and stuff. This is all very new for me. Like I just had my very first Mega Man race ever against Grand Hero this tournament, so like I'm not really familiar with all the ideas around Mega Man racing. And Lex opting not to jump on Rush Jet there, which makes it cost a lot more weapon energy than it did for Charlieboy. But
yeah, he's using a lot.
Yeah, but there are some great options for refills, and she's going for the magnet energy tank and refills, while Charlieboy. Oh my God! Oh, that was fierce. Magnet Man just whipping out those magnets and ending Charlieboy.
This is one boss where it's very helpful to be able to do reliable frame perfect hits, because the metal blades are so massive and
yeah, they
just stay in the hitbox forever.
Yeah, that's so true. They're pretty big squares opposed to like many other weapons. And wow, that was a pretty nice fight from Lex. And oh, what just happened on Charlieboy's side? Did he quit? Did he? Wait, I'm gonna check Discord.
Might have just dropped offline for a bit.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on with Charlieboy, so we're just gonna continue with seeing what Lex is going to pull out of her head today. And here we have the easiest stage, or in my opinion, the easiest stage in the game, where we have some bees, and she's going for that extra backup energy tank. So I'm thinking neither player really practiced a lot for this tournament. Like I've seen a lot of players. We even had 2 dropouts, but that was mainly because they did not have enough free time to actually properly prepare for this tournament. And I think that was a real shame, because I would have loved to see more matches of this. Luckily, there are still a lot of matches incoming, as this is just the first round of the loser brackets, round 2, for the first match of round 2 for the loser brackets. and we've only had two round. So we only had 2 matches of round 3 of the winners bracket. So there's a lot of Mega Man 2 matches coming up.
Yeah, I believe this tournament is kind of coinciding with the Tiny 10 races. So this is a good time for a lot of people to get into these games.
Yeah, and it's never too late, or it's never too soon to get into this game. I love this game.
True.
So,
and I think it's kind of dividing their attention a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlieboy is back now, and apparently he has already beaten Hardman. So he's still keeping that lead, despite dying at Mega Man. We're completely in the dark with what just happened. It got fixed, and Lex finishing off Hardman pretty fast as well. You can see she took almost no damage. That's because the hard knuckles Hardman fires do only 1 damage, and that's why it's there's very that stage maybe has the lowest risk of dying. And on Charlieboy's side, he's going for the and he missed the frame perfect zip. So, Jagger, do you want to explain hard knuckle zips?
Yeah, so hard knuckle zips are a fairly new thing in the speed run. It was kind of discovered late 2014, early 2015. And
yeah, I think I read something like that too.
What happens is if you use the hard knuckle and screen transition, I guess very close together, it'll start to screen transition and then just cancel it, and you'll already be on the opposite end of the screen. So it cuts down both the transition time and the falling time, and in some cases it could just put you below certain platforms that just allow you to skip screens entirely. Saves a huge chunk of time in some areas.
Yeah, and it seems like if I'm not seeing Lex use any of the hard knuckle strats, so I'm just going to assume she does not know how to hard knuckle zip just yet. Now the ones on the ladders are pretty free, so everybody can learn those because you just have to. And Top Man's already gone because I was paying attention, and
that happens.
Yeah, because it's just a 5-shot boss. It's one of the easiest bosses in the game, and I thought, Lex going for some extra weapon energy refills. Let's see. Zips on ladders are extremely free because you can just get Mega Man into the perfect position and press A and B at the same time, and it's just it's happening. It's a very, very small chance of failure. It still happens. But it's very small chance. Whereas the ones from free fall are frame perfect, and that's always rough. I don't think I've seen the other day Andy was streaming, the current world record holder, and he got the frame perfect zip in Top Man 6 times, 6 runs in a row, and that was pretty sick.
Okay.
But nobody gets those zips all the time. All the zips all the time, and I think there are 4, maybe 5 zips that are frame perfect, and 3 or 4 that are ladder zips.
Yeah, it might depend on how fast you're falling. If you're on a platform at the very bottom of the screen, maybe you have a 2-frame window more or something.
Yeah, Mega Man's falling velocity is pretty constant in this game, I think. I'm not completely sure. I know there are some triggers for Mega Man to fall faster, but his overall velocity doesn't increase by a whole lot. From what I've seen, but and Charlieboy misses the Elpis zip, which would put him in a perfect position for that free weapon refill, so now he's probably going to use Rush Jet to get it. Also,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that costs about maybe 4 seconds, I think.
Yeah, the nice thing about that particular zip is, one thing about zips is not only does it zip you on that one screen transition, but it typically also zips you on the next screen transition as well.
Yeah, this is mostly true in Needleman stage. I think it's also true in the final stage, in the first frame perfect zip, which has another frame perfect backup chance. That also has a bonus effect of skipping yet another screen. But in most zips, for instance the ones in Top Man, you only skip one one extra screen. But in Needleman, you get double bonuses for both the zips, so that's really cool. And Charlieboy making quick work of Needleman. That was just gone in the blink of an eye. Blink of an eye? I don't know. Whatever. And those needles, like the big needles you're seeing on lag screens, those are probably, like, we're not completely sure, but they're on a global timer, and they do about 3.5 damage, because this game actually deals half damage.
Actually, it's a little weirder than that.
It is
kind of random damage. It's not even really consistent. I think it's only either 2 or 3 damage, and a lot of times you could just take 3 damage over and over and over.
Okay, because that was a nice battle from legs, by the way, but I have been seeing some consistency in, like, getting hit by specific enemies does, like, specific amounts of damage. So sometimes getting hit will always result in a certain amount of damage, and then, for instance, the needles will do 3 damage instead of 4. But if you were hit by, say, by a cannon, which does a complete set of damage instead of, like, an incomplete set of damage, then you will always get 4 damage from the needle. So I think there is something, but I think there's still a lot of stuff about this game that needs to be, like, examined at a data level, which I would really like to do, but I don't know how to test. So I'm yeah. Oh, and that was Quint for legs as well. Not really far behind here. So I think she has about 30 seconds, but she has a lot more energy tanks, and I think this is definitely PB pace for legs, whereas Charlieboy has just gone over his personal best, but it's completely understandable because he already had, like, such a rough time with selecting Clash Man and having a death with Magnet Man and stuff, and then that weird power out.
Fun fact in Hardman stage, you know those bees that pop out of that have some bee enemies?
Yeah.
Those bees do either 0 or 1 damage, and Tremaine was messing around with that for a while, and like, it took him a really long time to take damage on him when he was trying to test that.
Wow.
He was just like, he would keep getting hit and not taking damage and had no idea why.
Yeah, so that's just one of those other quirks, and I think it's the same for weapon energy. I'm not completely 100% on this, but sometimes certain weapons will give you an extra shot. Like, I get the feeling that happens sometimes when I'm not like, you use a weapon and it doesn't cost any weapon energy, or just not as much, or like you'll have 2 hard knuckle energy and it costs 3, and you're still able to use one, and it's using that same half point system, like the life energy we were talking about. Like, it's like you have half points of energy, and it's really weird. I don't know why that happens, but I still really like that you can, like, that's one of the benefits. Like, you might survive a hit because you took half damage. So I think that's pretty cool. So Charlieboy here at the final boss, the first form, Ostrich Wily.
So hopefully he gets through fine. He should have enough health.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough health for the Sakugan strats on the second form, I think. But he's still going for it. I think he might have enough, but he had to do the last form pretty tightly, I think. And
typically you'll have half your health remaining at the third form, but he has a bit less than that.
But this actually gives Legs quite a fighting chance.
Yeah.
This is a pretty interesting turn of events.
He's at 0 energy tanks, unfortunately, and pretty much, even if he had weapon energy for the Sakugan, the jackhammer, you really don't want to use it with no energy tanks remaining.
No, exactly. I would have gone for the Buster strats because there are pretty consistent ways to dodge the big shots and everything Wily does. Final Wily only has two attack patterns per form, and both forms have a bouncing bomb, and the first form shoots its toenails, and the second form shoots these big Pharaoh-ish orbs. I say Pharaoh because of Pharaoh Man, but otherwise I really don't know, big plasma shots or whatever. And holy, look at Charlieboy's HP or life energy.
Yeah.
He only has 1 point left, so
It's doable.
it's definitely
terrifying.
doable. But if that stray missile, if that connects, like, oh, this is still very interesting. Meanwhile, Lex finishing off the first form. Oh my god. I think Charlieboy is gonna pull through. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely
not-
taking some safety there, which is completely understandable with only 1 life energy. GG's Charlieboy.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I had faith that he could do it. Luckily he did. I'd hate to see a second death and just kind of get walled by Wily with no tanks.
Yeah, because that's just like he already, like, I think his morale already took some pretty hard hits, like taking those wrong selects and that. So I think he'll feel pretty relieved that he at least didn't get another death, because dying at Wily 3 is that's such a huge time sink. There's no way to recover from that, I think. And GG to Lex.
It just
You
goes
have,
to show in races, it tends to be consistency that wins over speed.
Yeah, and this is why no reset training is so important, because you just have to know how to react. Oh, and there's some weird stuff going on Lex's. Like, we see part of the skull fork. I've never seen that before. That's so cool. It looks so meshed up. Do you have the speed
I forget why that happens.
open for the official clear times?
I don't.
Me neither. Okay, so we'll just go with whatever times we're seeing on screen, as they're about a minute apart. Let me
Usually
just,
pretty close.
yeah, like I usually I just type in .done and then close my splits, so it shouldn't be too far apart. So let me check the leaderboards if that's a personal best for Legs there. And if the leaderboards are still up to date, it actually is a race PB by about 2 to 4 seconds.
Hey,
I'm
PB is still a PB.
So that's definitely GG for Legs there. It's always nice to have a PB in a race. Like Grandin Hero had the sickest. He had 3 personal bests. That was against me, I think. He had 3 personal bests in a row in a race, and that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see Legs jumping on Rush Jet more. It saves a lot of time not having to refill it later.
Yeah, I think she may need some extra if she doesn't win this match, she's already out of the tournament, if I'm correct, right? This is the loser's bracket, so it's too late to go in and teach her some new moves.
True.
But yeah, I try to visit everybody's stream. Like, I haven't gotten around to everyone, but I've been spending some time with B Lightning and Hard Selection and Crazy 8-Boy, and also with Andy. And it's been so much fun. Like, the community around this game is really great. Like, everybody's so nice and really helpful. Like, everybody wants to share their strats and just like see everybody do better. Like, very nice, healthy, competitive atmosphere, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be the case with a lot of speedrunning communities, that especially with Mega Man, there are a lot of people that run basically all of the games. And they just want to share their love for the game, pretty much.
Yeah, I've only encountered like a handful of people that were really not so nice. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
And like they're like it's but like in the classic community, I have not, and in the X community, I have not really encountered anything like that. So I'm like really happy, and I'm especially really grateful that John Crawls decided to host this tournament, because I've always played this game and I never really got any better at it, because I was like, yeah, it'll come someday. And then there was this tournament, and now suddenly everybody's improving like crazy, and this game got so super competitive all of a sudden because of this tournament. So shout out to John Carls for hosting this or for organizing this, because it's been amazing fun so far.
And they're off again. Round 2.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong stream there for a bit. So yeah. Okay. So and I think we have. Oh yeah. Of course, the streams are synced. This is the. Oh, and we have some nice sync going on here as well. Nice. So here in Metal Man stage, we're gonna take, or Charlieboy is gonna take some aggressive, more aggressive strats, swapping some damage for time.
Yeah, it's a really tough balance because you take a lot of damage in this stage, but you can also save a lot of time by doing so.
Yeah, and I think the personal best of world record holder Andy is 184 or 148. Sorry, 48. Yeah, numbers mess me up, man. And my personal best is like 153, and like, yeah, it's still like that's your personal best. Like to get sub 2 minutes consistently, except for Andy, of course, he gets sub whatever all the time. But for me to get sub 2 minutes out of Metal Man stage is still such, like, I'm always happy if I get such a time, because this stage is really, I think together with Needle, like those are some pretty big determinators aside from getting zips and stuff.
For sure. So one of the reasons it's very nice that this stage is first.
Yeah, definitely. Like, imagine if this was the final stage, or like the second to last, like, and then, wow, so many runs would end there. Like, but now you just have this game, this stage at the start, and you can, if you're going for personal best, you can just reset to your heart's content. And Charlieboy getting the Metal Man glitch again, where the room is just too small for Metal Man to be in. He's just too metal for this room, he's too metal for this game, and that's why he gets stuck in the wall. And much like on the NES version, Metal Man just can't get a break, and he just gets completely wrecked here.
Yeah. As I've said before, I used to like the Airman first stage because it's so much more consistent. It's less based on RNG, but it's also consistently slower, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the nice thing with like starting with Clashman or Airman first is that you have an energy tank, because there are 2 energy tanks in Clashman that you could get, and just one would help so much in Metal Man stage, which is why I used to do it, because I didn't know which, I didn't have any guideline for which stage was fast. I was just improvising, and like having an energy tank in Metal Man stage is like, you guys have seen the stage, like you can you've seen how much damage you can take there. So having that energy tank and just having that free refill, not having to wait for RNG drops, it's just like the biggest help in that stage. But it's out of the question if you want to go fast. And I think it's cool that Lex did learn the Metal Man glitch, so she's not doing the hard knuckle zips, but she is doing the Metal Man glitch, which I actually learned quite a lot quite a lot of time later than the hard knuckle zips, because I only saw it on Tremaine's video. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, there was no explanation at that time. And luckily there were like a lot of nice people. I don't know who exactly. It might have been Manix, it might have been somebody else. And they were nice enough to just give me a point-by-point explanation of how to do the glitch. And now I was able to get it immediately. And I was super happy with that, because then I was actually able to get some good times. And Woodman is gone again. Definitely one of the easiest bosses.
Yeah.
4-hit wonder there.
You don't even really have time to die in the fight. It's just dead so fast.
Yeah, if you get through like the top route, or like if you don't even take the top route, Woodman is a really easy stage, like, because there are 2 large energy refills, and they just make the stage like completely bearable, even if you would jump into every cook, which are those rooster enemies just before the boss. And like, there's not even enough time to actually discuss the Woodman battle, because he's already dead by the time we've uttered like half a sentence.
Yeah, and just like that, we're already on Airman stage.
And Charlieboy turning around at the last possible moment in his slide to take even more momentum to the right, or move. Like if you get knocked back, you get knocked back in direction Mega Man is facing, as opposed to the direction you were hit in, like on the NES. And turning around, like it puts Mega Man just a bit more to the right if you do it at the end of the slide. But it's very precise. Like slide a bit, turn around a bit too early, and you will slide a bit back, which actually loses time, of course. Using Leaf Shield here is pretty, it's pretty nice. It's pretty. Oh, and he shot that Leaf Shield up, but Charlieboy still has enough ammo for. You only need 2 slots of ammo for the Airman fight, as the first Leaf Shield will connect twice with Airman, and then you only need to get close to him, like hug him a bit, and then just throw those leaves at him, and he's gone. Okay, so there's the double hit, and there was that was it. Like that's the ideal Airman fight right there. Meanwhile, Lex is using some metal blades, which is also a great strategy, as it conserves the Leaf Shield. If you would do ideal strats for this stage, you would use Leaf Shield on the fan blowing big guys at the first half of that horizontal segment. But that would end you up with, like, was that a good sense? That would you would end up with only 1 Leaf Shield, and you actually need 2 for ideal Airman fight. So you would rely on a small weapon drop to make up for the fact that you've used so much Leaf Shield. Meanwhile, Charlieboy here, heading into Clashman already, building up quite the lead. Fortunately, not selecting the wrong boss this time, and making some nice usage of Rush Jet there. And climbing on ladders on this game is a bit weird, as if you hold a diagonal, or like if you hold left or right while pressing up or down on the ladder, Mega Man will not move. Don't know why this happens, but it does. And like this upcoming ladder on the right for Charlieboy, like you can see it for a small bit, but there are several tops of ladders stacked on top of each other. So if you would Rush Jet into the ladder at a higher point, you would actually be standing neutrally on top of the ladder and won't be able to climb up on the screen. It's very weird, and it used to happen to me a lot, but I managed to figure out a good way to position Rush Jet so that it doesn't happen anymore. But if you're just starting out trying this game and you use Rush Jet there, it's bound to happen. Charlieboy using some nice reverse damage boost there to not take another hit from that Shotman guarding Clashman. His life energy is on the low side, so curious to see how he's going to handle Clashman like this.
I'm back, sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, this is a really tough fight, and something I definitely recommend people do serious training on. Like, even...
Yeah.
Like, you want to spend as much time on this fight as you do with the entire rest of the game, pretty much.
Yeah, getting this fight down, and I really recommend doing Buster-only backup strats as well, because in the off chance that you die, you will never have enough air shooter to finish off Clashman ever again. So it might be wise to learn some backup strats for a lot of bosses as well. For instance, Needleman is also... you can also hit Needleman with the air shooter. It's not like you're ever gonna run out of top spin, but you know, it's like some bosses have dual weaknesses, or more weaknesses. Not a lot, but some, like Magnet Man being weak to both Needle and Metal Blade, which is really nice, as opposed to like most Mega Man Game Boy games where you have to do the first boss of the second set with the Buster. In this game, that's not a problem, because you can just Metal Blade into Magnet Man. Lex having some trouble with the ladders just before heading into Clashman there. And she again going for that classic Clashman strat. And that was Clashman. It was still a pretty clean fight. Meanwhile, Charlieboy is making his way through Magnet Man stage, which I think is one of the. It's not a hard stage, but there are definitely some opportunities for big damage. And if you space out your jumps, or like you space out your jumps incorrectly, there's definitely, like, we've seen some deaths already in this stage, both on the boss as at the start of the game. And Charlieboy again jumping on Rush Jet here to conserve as much energy as possible, as the weapon energy for things won't be refilled during these next 5 stages, or next 4 stages.
Yeah, you save about like a quarter of a bar by jumping on Rush in this stage.
Yeah, and the difference is definitely going to matter if you're not going to pick up. Wow, Charlieboy cutting it awfully close there, buddy. Yeah, so curious to see if he's going to use an energy tank for Magnet Man, or if this time he's going all in. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore.
Yeah.
And Lex going for another energy tank.
Yeah, it looks like he's just playing this kind of safe and not taking a hit, and he gets through pretty cleanly.
Yes, this was. I think like he took some notes from himself, like from the last fight, and he's like, "I'm not doing that again. I'm never doing that again. I'm just gonna fight this fight like it's supposed to be done." Magnet Ben takes 10 Metal Blade hits, so it's a long fight in this game's sense, that most battles are quite fast and this one isn't, but it's pretty easy to script out, so the battle will almost always go the exact same way. The only off chance is that he'll do the magnet pull, in which case you lose anywhere from 2 to 4 seconds just from him being invincible and pulling him towards him. And but that's the only real variation in that battle, so that's a very easy battle to learn to do. Yeah,
I noticed a lot of gap between Middleman battle times for players. It seems like some players just seem to get it more like instantaneously, I guess. Just something they kind of sense out. And you want to keep the middle blade in his body like at all times, basically. And it's kind of tough to get a rhythm going so that you could continue to dodge attacks while hitting them.
And yeah, exactly that, because like you're gonna take a hit, and if you're gonna take a hit, and that's the magnet pull I was talking about earlier. Okay, so it's only about 2 seconds. But still, really nice fight considering. And Charlieboy having a bit of trouble with Hardman, but not the worst. Like that's like ideally you would kill him before he even jumps, and he got him to land. So that's not 2 or 3 seconds lost. But in like that, Lex is now a full stage behind. I don't think it matters too much for Charlieboy right now.
And now it's time for Legs to have some bees.
Come on, bees. And like we saw her go for the energy tank up here last time. I'm wondering if she's going for that again, as she already has for now. Okay, so last time she didn't have for that. Okay, that makes sense. And getting some massive drops there. And what's interesting about this game, like at a certain point, like if you want to get better, like you have the general strats and everything, but to progress beyond a certain point, it becomes you have to manage every little jump. So like certain ladders, especially the first one in Hardman, you want to jump as low as possible there and grab it. If you jump any higher, it will just take longer for you to grab it. So you'll actually lose time by jumping there if you jump too high. And I've seen on the world record holder Andy, like his movement is so tight, it's absurd. Like it's great stuff to learn from. Like besides that, he's very willing to explain everything and like be a great tutor. He also he just by playing shows like how amazingly tight the movement and how fast the movement can be in this game. And it's just that makes this Mega Man a lot more fun for me personally than the other Game Boy Mega Man, because the pace actually feels really great. Whereas at the other Mega Mans, the pace feels impeded either by lag or, in Dr. Wily's Revenge case, by not having a slide or just being like really hard. Mega Man 1 on the Game is so different, and nice battle from lag there.
This is one of the first games. This is probably the first game where I essentially compared my run side by side with the world record just to see where I could improve on. And I would notice in some stages I would lose time on every single screen, and then I realized I have to start optimizing jumps like a lot more strenuously, I guess.
Yeah, you got to step up your game, and that's it's really nice when you're like it's a lot of fun to pioneer a category. So like you're the first player in this game, or you're first player in this category, so you can invent stuff and you can really think out a route and everything. But it's also really nice to have like a world record which you can just like you just said, like compare your run to. So you have like a clear-cut way to go. Like you already know in general what the best strategies are, and you just have to implement them. And Lex killing that big cat, like with the hard knuckle zips, you would actually be able. Like I was so engrossed in our dialogue that I actually missed if Charlieboy got any of the top zips. I think he got one. Like I saw it from the corner of my eye, but did you catch that?
I did not. Unfortunately, my connection's a little wonky at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So Lex again going for that energy tank she used earlier, and I think she'll go for the refill again for Rush Jet. And
this is a good
Charlieboy getting the opposite. Nice. So, like aside from it being a little faster, it also puts Mega Man at the top of this next screen, giving that hard knuckle refill, which is cause of elimination for like a part of the RNG required for fastest possible times. So, and any RNG that can be eliminated is always really welcome. Like I'm not really
so great.
Oh yeah.
You could save time with that, and you get to save more time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's another double bonus. There are so many double bonuses in this stage. It's now the double bonus stage, except the boss, which is minus 15 bonus. So it kind of evens out. Definitely understand Charlieboy using an energy tank. I personally like to use an energy tank in this stage as well. I actually get one extra energy tank just for this stage. That's because then you can just go all out and you don't have to wait for the needles. Like ideally, like the world record only uses one energy tank, but especially in races, you want that extra bit of security, I think. So I'll definitely be getting that extra energy tank, especially for like Needle Man stage. And here we have Quint, whose hitbox is already apparent or already there at the moment you're on this screen. So like now you can see him on the position that his hitbox is in, but the hitbox is already there before the fight starts, so you can just pound in some hits before like the battle really is supposed to start, and you can just like it's pretty big time save.
It's tricky when you're first learning it because you can't see the hitbox, but as long as you know like halfway in, like in the very middle of the third block up is where you gotta shoot.
Yeah,
as long as you look at the background, you're fine.
Yeah, that's like you just gotta have to get a feel for it, as well as I think in a lot of games, like you can use the background for cues, like if there are different pixels or different. I think I've seen it used in a lot of speed runs, like in Mega Man X4 as well. There's just been this new strat, and it also used the background for positioning on a certain mid-boss. And I think that's pretty cool. Like you can just use it's not just decorative, like it has a purpose for you now. So even though it's only designed as aesthetic, it's just wow, that was the earliest hard knuckle zip try I've ever seen in my entire life. But he gets the backup zip, so it's not a big deal. So that's pretty cool. Like you don't have to get that frame perfect zip to get the benefits from that zip, as it still saves about 20 seconds. It's by far the biggest time save in the entire game, because you don't have to loop around which is just which is a lot of fun to do if you're not going for zips. But yeah, for fast clear times, it's absolute madness to go around.
Yeah, when I was learning the game for the first time, I was just like, I really hope zips are found in this stage, especially.
Yeah, and on the left side, on Lex's screen, we saw that she jumped on Rush Jet the moment it spawned, and this is what we like to call bad dog, as Rush will stay... wow, that's some interesting Rush quality uses there. As Rush likes to stay in place if you jump on top of him as he's spawning, and like there's only one case where that's desirable for getting the Clashman energy tank, the first energy tank Clashman stage, but otherwise it's undesirable as you would want to move around on Rush Jet, and that's why I call it a bad dog. And Lex facing off against Needleman as Charlieboy stream getting a bit choppy here, but he's facing off against that final boss. And I think with his color scheme, the damage when Wily takes damage looks pretty cool. We actually get a freeze frame of it, nice. So finishing him off quite to the right, which is nice for the screen transitioning, because the further to the right Wily is, the better, because it's it's going to be faster. Oh, and he misses the Sakugarn, but okay. And meanwhile, we see Lex going for some more conservative, more classic approach to Quint, opting to use needle cannon, which I didn't even know was possible until Izzy told me that. Like, it does the exact same damage as Metal Man on Quint, except like the shots vary in height where they come out of your buster, so it's slightly harder to perform, in my opinion, but it does the same damage. So it's really good that she knew that, so that's a good backup strat right there. And GG's to Charlieboy.
Nice. Really clutching both of these matches out, really.
Yeah, it's having a much better time this time, not having... I think this was Deathless, right?
I'm not sure.
I think
maybe.
this was... Yeah, I think this was like, he had a pretty solid run. Meanwhile, Lex finishing up the final stage with some nice Dali artwork-based clutch. Salvador Dali making an art piece.
I think he died on Magnet Man.
Oh, he did. I kind of forgot that. Wasn't that in the first race? Anyways, these clocks are like, there are clocks in this stage everywhere, of course, to accentuate the time travel aspect of this game's super relevant and important storyline. Super canon, by the way. And Lex, not knowing the hard knuckle zips, is going around, so you do get to see the 20-second or so loss. Might be less.
I kind of like this.
Yeah,
platforming in this section, but it is really slow.
Yeah, I proposed to like Mr. Cab or something. I proposed like that we should add a zipless category, because this game is so much fun that it could, like, I think a lot of people would just enjoy like this game, even the normal playthrough as well. Like, the zips don't save that much, but I still think it's about a minute or so, like in total, if you get them all. And so yeah, this game is just so much fun. Like like, I'm so surprised. Like, I've been playing this game for 25 plus years now, I think, like casually at least, and it still hasn't gotten any less fun. Like, I still enjoy it every time I play it. Like, it's just
it's especially nice that it's changing now with a broadening community. We're finding more stuff.
Yeah, it keeps expanding. We found some really cool music glitches in Needleman stage, hard selection, and I think it was hard selection, and B Lightning helped me figure out a way to produce a speedcore glitch where we remove the music limiter of the game, and everything sounds super meshed together, but it sounds really nice because I actually like very high-paced music. And in Needleman, there's a glitch where you can corrupt the memory of the samples, and you actually hear buster shots instead of the usual music samples, and it sounds awesome. Like, it's everything. Like, this game just keeps getting better. Like, it's amazing. Lex only heading into the final fight here with 1 energy tank to spare, but she does have 6 lives, so there's a fairly good chance that she'll be able to duke this out with Dr. Wily.
I like this first phase of Wily. It's kind of fun to execute. It's really hard to get those mid-jump shots. But when you do,
Yeah,
it feels
definitely.
good.
Wow, that looks super weird. Did you see, like, the Wily tank had to reposition? That was so dumb. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
love this game. Oh wow. And going for that energy refill a bit early. I hope that doesn't get her into any trouble. And well,
Oh,
that's
no.
good. Oh my god, this is...
Okay.
Like,
Uh-oh.
there's still a chance
Well.
she could be able to make it, but it's gonna be... Oh, and there was the...
Dang it.
So, now this
Oh,
fight's
that's
gonna
actually
get extra
good,
hard.
because that would have been a stop block otherwise.
And I think Lex has decided to forfeit, I think.
I would like to see a good old college try on a Buster-only Wily. But I understand if they're not feeling confident in it.
Yeah, it's... yeah, Buster only Wily, if you're not confident with it, like if you haven't gotten used to Buster only strats, and definitely without any energy tanks. I mean, there's a reason why she picked up so many extra energy tanks, so for me that tells me she doesn't feel confident with facing off against Wily.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah, and having to do 3 forms with 1 life bar in such a case, that, yeah, I can really understand the desire to quit.
And we saw on Charlieboy's first match that he had to do the same thing, and he got to the 3rd phase with 1 health.
Okay. Do we get... I do see we have Charlieboy with us. I don't think we have Lex, so we might be able to contact her. Charlieboy, are you up for a post-race interview?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, sure.
Hey, welcome. Congrats.
GG's
What's
to you,
going on,
Charlieboy.
GG's. Yeah, thanks, guys. GG's to Sprinting Legs. It was fun.
And great
Wily
clutch victories.
at the end, but it happens. Yeah, man. Yeah, whenever I was down to 1 health in the first race, I was just hoping I wouldn't get hit. And then, like, something similar happened in the second race, down to 2 health. I thought I was really goner in stage 2, but man, I slid under the bomb. I missed the little bomb spikes that come off that bomb, and then yeah, I finished it out. Now it wasn't a PB for me, but it was a race PB, so I guess it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw you had like a bit of trouble on the first. Like your second run was pretty good. Like there was some good work there, but in the first you had some pretty rough deals. Like first you chose Clashman instead of Airman.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, man, that's
Almost made it through that.
Yeah, I mean, since I was already in the stage, I was like, oh, what do I do here? I didn't practice for this. I went ahead and I said, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'll try to go through this. And then I got to that one pit, and I'm like, do you really have to have rush jet to get across this pit? Like, how do I get across this thing? So I just
don't, but it's hard.
I don't know. Yeah, I got hit. You don't have to?
No.
No, you can clear it without rush jet, but I can understand. Like it's almost as tight a jump as on the Magnet Man stage first.
And the
jump,
telly
so-
keeps respawning.
Yeah. Yeah, that telly got me over that pit. And by that time, I was like, you know what? I probably
Game
should
over
just,
time.
Yeah, I should just like go for the strat. I know, take this game over and see if I can't catch up.
Yeah, Lex also had some trouble with. She actually, while you were dying in Clashman, she took a unfortunate death in Airman, which gave you even more opportunity to catch up. The first race ended up being really close because you cut it so close on Wily. That was like I was holding my breath there for a while because that was, yeah, you had me scared there for a moment.
Yeah, I was like, I knew I had his stream up so I could like compare times to see how far ahead or behind I was, and yeah, like I was like, it's pretty close. I'm just gonna go for this, and then I hopped on the pogo, and I thought, oh man, yes, I got this, and then I ran out of juice, and I got hit. I took the death there, and yeah, I had to restart the fight, but luckily I'm pretty decent at doing it with no E-tank, with just Buster, so.
Yeah, we saw on Lex's second round that she clearly did not feel confident with Wily, with no energy tanks and just a Buster. So really understand why I really understood why she would choose to forfeit there, because if you want to have at least one energy tank on Wily and you're not really confident with Buster strat, that can turn into a horrible mess. So yeah. But overall, are you fairly content with your race?
Yeah, fairly. I practiced a little bit earlier in the week. I practiced today, all day pretty much. I took a small break to eat, but yeah, I'm just trying to shave the time off to where I can hit those 20s and sub 20s even. That would be really nice. I'm pretty consistent at about a 22-21 range ish. I think my PB right now is like 21 and a half, 21.30 something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it would be nice to be able to, figure out how to drop it another minute. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty content with that. As far as it goes.
Oh yeah, for sure. And PBs are nice and all, but it seems to be consistency that's winning these races.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get consistent at sub 20. That would be great, Like,
yeah.
But for about I've only raced this game for about a month now, and I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I think so too. I definitely see a lot of potential as well. So I'm gonna subscribe to your Twitter, to your Twitch, and if you're gonna stream this game some more, like in upcoming weeks, I'm gonna visit you and like give you some pointers and trying to get you to go even lower, because I know you can do this.
All right, man, cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got pretty hyped whenever I hit that zip and Wily, the one frame. I was like, yo, only if I was like this much faster in my PB, if I would have got that zip.
Yeah, but it only means you got like so many like personal bests ahead of you, because you will be able to get that zip even more of the time in the future, and yeah, it's just gonna be awesome. Like I definitely see some potential there for the next races. I'm gonna check the challenge real fast to see who you'll be facing.
So anything you're planning to focus on in the match coming up?
Really, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe being able to go into Crash or Clash with more health, so I don't have to spend the E-tank there. Which I can do it, but it's not consistent. If I can figure a way to take less damage during the stage, then that would be great. What else? Maybe little time saves here and there. Magnet, I could use more health going into Magnet fight. That'd be nice. Really, just health management in general.
Yeah.
Because I pull some pretty close calls sometimes. And
yeah, that's something I actually want to comment on. Is like you had some trouble with the first Magnet Man the first time, and I was really worried because you were only going in with 4 health into the second fight, and you just pulled it off so cleanly, and I was like, all right, like he's got to feel like I'm not making the same mistake again.
Yeah, I definitely took it a little slower the second time around. The first time I had it, I just overshot the last Metal Blade, and yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna try to take it a little bit slower this time, so that I make sure to at least not die. So I think
that was a real smart idea.
I think the second run was deathless, so I mean it's always good when you're getting deathless runs.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's so many chances, so many opportunities for death in this game, and I think that's what helps keeps the races fresh as well. Like there's still, even though this is a relatively easy Mega Man game to speedrun, there are still so many opportunities for like a surprise death here or there, and allowing for a turnaround in the race, which I think only benefits the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I played in the NES tournament before this. That was definitely hard to grind out, and then transitioning to this is a little bit easier, yeah. But I mean, Deathless there, Deathless here. As long as it's the consistency that matters, and as far as these tournament races go.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, you want to build up as much deathless consistency as you can. So, so Jagger, do you have any sorry, Charlieboy, do you have any closing thoughts or any final things you want to say on the race?
I mean, good games to Sprinting Legs again. Welcome to whoever just followed me. And yeah, thanks to John Carl, Cyclone, Feasel, everybody behind the scenes. Follow those guys. Thanks to you guys, Elvis and is it Jaeger or Jagger?
Jagger.
Jagger, okay.
Jagger.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for commentating the race. Y'all make sure to follow these guys too. Follows for everybody. Follow everybody, guys. And,
Follow all the guys.
Follow everyone on Twitch.
Follow everyone.
I'll see you guys in the next race, huh?
All right.
Good
Thanks.
luck.
All right, thanks
So,
for having
do
me.
you have
guys.
any closing notes?
Not really. Thanks for the race. Thanks for watching. And catch you guys later.
Yeah, GG's to Charlieboy, GG's to Sprinting Legs. This was a pretty fun race. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.